The chandelier above the restaurant table cast a warm glow, reflecting off the polished silverware and the deep red of the wine in Ethan Caldwell's glass. At 42, the billionaire CEO of Horizon Innovations was a man who commanded rooms, his tailored navy suit and sharp jawline drawing eyes even in New York's most exclusive dining spots. Tonight, though, his focus was on Lila, the woman across from him. Her laugh was soft, like a melody he wanted to memorize, her emerald eyes sparkling as she recounted a story about her art gallery's latest exhibit. Ethan leaned in, savoring the moment, the kind of quiet happiness he hadn't known in years. The restaurant, La Belle Époque, buzzed with the hum of Manhattan's elite. Waiters glided silently, delivering plates of truffle-dusted risotto and seared scallops. Ethan had chosen this place for its intimacy, a rare escape from the relentless pace of his world, boardrooms, private jets, and the weight of a company that powered half the globe's renewable energy. Lila, with her unassuming warmth and passion for art, was his anchor, a reminder that life could be more than deals and deadlines. He reached for her hand, his thumb brushing her knuckles, when a familiar figure across the room stopped his heart cold. Claire, his ex-wife. She stood near the bar, her hand resting on a gentle curve beneath her dress. Pregnant. The sight hit Ethan like a rogue wave, pulling him under. Claire's auburn hair fell in waves, just as he remembered, but her face carried a quiet strength he hadn't seen in their final years together. Their marriage had ended 5 years ago, not in flames but in frost, a slow drift into separate lives. He hadn't seen her since the divorce papers were signed, yet here she was, radiant and expecting. Lila followed his gaze, her smile faltering. "Ethan? You okay?" He blinked, forcing a nod. "Yeah, just saw someone I know." His voice was steady, but his mind churned. Claire, pregnant. The math didn't add up. They'd been apart too long for it to be his, but the sight stirred something deeper, a pang of what could have been. Their marriage had crumbled under his ambition, his endless hours building Horizon while Claire begged for a life together, not just a shared address. He'd failed her, and now, seeing her like this, the guilt he'd buried clawed its way back. Lila's hand squeezed his. "You want to talk about it?" He hesitated. Lila deserved his honesty, but the restaurant wasn't the place. Later, he promised, managing a smile. "Let's enjoy tonight." But fate had other plans. As they finished their main course, Claire approached their table, her steps tentative but purposeful. Up close, her pregnancy was undeniable, her glow softened by a flicker of nervousness. "Ethan," she said, her voice steady but laced with something raw. "I didn't expect to see you." "Claire." His throat tightened. "You look, well." His eyes flicked to her belly, then back to her face, searching for answers he wasn't sure he had the right to ask. She noticed and offered a small smile. 7 months. It's a long story. Her gaze shifted to Lila, who sat quietly, her expression kind but guarded. "I'm sorry to interrupt. I just needed to say something." Ethan's pulse quickened. "What is it?" Claire took a breath, her hands clasped in front of her. "I heard about Horizon's new initiative, the Clean Water Project for rural communities. It's incredible, Ethan. The man I married, he dreamed of things like that, but I never thought you'd actually do it." Her voice softened. "I'm proud of you." The words landed like a gift he didn't deserve. Horizon's water initiative had been his passion project, born from late-night conversations with Lila about making a real difference, not just profits. He'd poured millions into it, quietly, hoping to atone for the years he'd prioritized wealth over purpose. Claire's acknowledgement, unexpected and unguarded, cracked something open in him. "Thank you," he said, barely above a whisper. "That means a lot." Claire nodded, then glanced at Lila. "You've got a good one here. Don't let him forget who he is." With that, she turned and walked away, leaving Ethan staring at the space she'd occupied. Lila reached for his hand again, her touch grounding. "That was your ex-wife, wasn't it?" He nodded, exhaling. "Yeah, Claire. We didn't end well." Lila's eyes held no judgment, only curiosity. "You want to tell me about her?" Over dessert, he did. He told Lila about the early days with Claire, when they were young and broke, dreaming of a world they'd build together. How his drive to succeed had consumed him, leaving Claire alone in a penthouse that felt more like a cage. How she'd left, not out of anger, but because she needed to save herself. Lila listened, her silence a kind of permission for him to unravel the parts of himself he rarely showed. As they left the restaurant, the cool night air hit Ethan's face, clearing the fog in his mind. But the universe wasn't done with him yet. On the sidewalk, a young woman stood shivering, her coat too thin for the autumn chill. She held a sign, "Single Mom," Need help for my kids' medical bills. Ethan's instinct was to keep walking. New York was full of signs like hers, but something stopped him. Maybe it was Claire's words, or Lila's quiet compassion beside him. He approached the woman. "What's your name?" he asked. She looked up, startled. "Maria. Maria, what's going on with your kid?" Her story spilled out. A daughter, Sophie, battling leukemia, hospital bills piling up faster than Maria could work. Ethan listened, his heart heavy. He pulled out his wallet, handing her every bill he had, hundreds, maybe more. But it wasn't enough. He knew it. Money alone never was. "Give me your contact," he said. "I'll have my team reach out. We'll cover Sophie's treatment." Maria's eyes widened, tears spilling over. Why would you do that?" "Because I've spent too long taking," he thought. "Because I'm trying to be better." But he only said, "Because I can." Lila slipped her arm through his as they walked away, her voice soft. "That was beautiful, Ethan." He shook his head. "It's nothing. It's just, right?" The next morning, Ethan sat in his office, the city skyline sprawling beyond his window. His assistant had already tracked down Maria's hospital, confirming Sophie's treatment would be fully funded. But Ethan's mind was elsewhere, on Claire, on Lila, on the man he wanted to be. He called his COO, directing funds to expand the Clean Water Initiative to 3 more countries. Then he texted Lila, asking her to dinner again, not at a fancy restaurant, but at a soup kitchen downtown where they could volunteer. That evening, as they served plates of warm food to weary faces, Ethan felt something shift. Lila's laughter mingled with the chatter of strangers, and for the first time, he didn't feel like a billionaire CEO, just a man trying to do good. Claire's words echoed in his mind. Don't let him forget who he is. He wouldn't. Not again. Months later, Ethan stood at a ribbon cutting for a new water facility in a small village, Lila at his side. A letter arrived that morning from Claire, congratulating him on the project and sharing news of her newborn daughter, Emma. She'd named Ethan as someone she'd tell Emma about one day, not as a father, but as a man who'd found his way back to kindness. Ethan folded the letter, his chest tight with gratitude. As the crowd cheered, Lila leaned close, whispering, "You're changing the world, you know." He smiled, pulling her closer. "No, we are." The story wasn't about a billionaire or an ex-wife or a new love. It was about humanity, messy, imperfect, and capable of redemption. Ethan Caldwell had built an empire, but in the end, it was the small acts, the quiet moments of selflessness, that rebuilt him.